Hello, welcome back to the Villa View for a match preview for Aston Villa's game against Sheffield United on Saturday the 23rd at Villa Park.
Merry Christmas, Dan. I think this is the last video that we'll do before Christmas and preview for Sheffield United. How do you see the game going?
Well, I think we can say we've got each other's numbers, so we can text each other or ring if you prefer on Christmas Day. You don't need to say Happy Christmas.
I just feel a little bit festive. I've got my Christmas jumper on. I don't know whether you can see it. Oh, you can't,
no,
but
I can't.
people at home. You've got yours on as well. It's a festive time.
I mean, it is. I love Christmas. I'm done with work now, although obviously I've had a bit of time off anyway due to illness. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Christmas period. I just hope that it starts off right with Villa getting 3 points.
So for me, Sheffield United have been a little bit of a surprise package. Obviously, I didn't do predictions at the start of the season, so I wasn't doing on-camera stuff then, but I wouldn't have never expected to have had Sheffield United in the top 2 for most of the season and then around the top 6 now. Are you surprised by Sheffield United as well?
I don't know whether I'm surprised. I'm surprised they've been as high as they are, but I'm not surprised that they've done quite well, because I think there's quite often teams that come up from League One and carry on the momentum, and they did very well last season, and they've got a good manager. They fell away a bit recently, but I think the fact that they're still in the top 6 is testament to how well they have done. I mean, they tend to win or lose. They've only drawn 1 game so far this season, so they're a bit of an all or nothing side, but I think Wilder deserves great credit for what he's done there, and although they've had a dip, as I say, recently, to still be, I think they're on the same points as us actually. That tells you how well they've done, because we haven't had a bad season.
No, for me, I think I said that before. I said it in the preview the other day that Sheffield United were the team to catch at one point when they were sitting in second, and now for them to be on the same points as us is partly because they've had a bad spell, but it's been testament to us, as you say, to keep up and stay around there.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is there's a massive expectation at Villa where there's virtually no expectation. At Sheffield United, they're just happy to be in the Championship and be in the same league as their great rival Sheffield Wednesday again. So I think they're quite content with, as long as they'd have stayed up, they'd have been happy. But the fact that they've spent so long in the top 6 and they've been around the autos, probably more so than us actually, they've been closer to the autos and in the autos this season. There'll be a desire for Sheffield United fans. They want to go up to the promised land that is the Premier League, because they've not been there since, I think, Martin O'Neill's first season when he was Villa manager. So it's been a long time without Premier League football for them as well. But they're grateful for being in the Championship for the main part. But now, as I say, now they're there and in amongst it, they want at least playoffs. But if they don't get it, Wilder still deserves a massive amount of credit, and the Sheffield United fans will give him that because they're a reasonable bunch of fans. So
with the United coming up from League One last year, automatically they've got loads of points, loads of goals. Do you think that momentum can help them do well in the Championship, or is it something that's always destined to fall off?
No, I think it helps. I'm saying there's been countless teams. I can't think of an example now, but there's been teams over the years that have done the double promotion. It happens more often than you think it would. So I think if players can score goals in League One, they can score goals in the Championship, and that showed. I mean, Billy Sharp's been around the Football League for a long time. Same with Leon Clark, and it is a bit of a cobbled together side, Sheffield United, but it's a side that works hard for each other, plays for the badge and plays for the manager. So that's the reason they're doing well. Not because of, well, a bit because of momentum, but because they do put a shift in and they do put the work in for the club and the city and the fans.
Did you see the video of Chris Wilder after deadline day in the summer?
Yeah, I saw it.
I watched that earlier again today, and he was trying to convince one of his targets to join. He was saying we're an attack-minded team, we play 3 at the back, we play wide, and they're still sticking with that 3 at the back, I think. Yeah. Is that good for us to play against 3 at the back, do you think, or are we going to struggle against that?
I don't think it's so much that they play 3 at the back. I think the fact that they go and try and win the game will suit us, because we've seen with teams that come to Villa Park and are well set up, well drilled defensively, we struggle to break them down. But if Sheffield United are going to come and have a go, I suggest there'll be more holes for us to exploit, and I think we are a bit of a better counter-attacking side nowadays than we have been in previous years. When we're asked to control the game and be the ones that dictate and take the game to the opposition, I don't think we're as good. But when the other team's prepared to have a go, I think that suits us. So I think not so much the fact they play 3 at the back, but their style of football will help us, I think.
Having Adoma and Snodgrass as the wingers that want to cut in, they'll be able to have more space maybe because the wing backs would have pushed on. So you've got a striker and a number 10 up against 3 centre-backs, and then you've got your wingers cutting in as well. So if we can get on the ball and play it around, then maybe we'll have some success that way.
Well, I think that suits us that we have got wingers that cut in, because I think you have to ask your wingers to not play as wide in this kind of game. They have to come inside, because if you've got Keenan Davis, for example, against 3 big, experienced Championship centre-backs on his own, it's going to be a tough day at the office for him. It's only natural. It's one against 3. It's basic numbers. So you need your wide players to come in. You need your number 10 to come and get up alongside, get close to your striker. So that could end up soon, because it might force us tactically to do things that we wouldn't necessarily normally do.
Talk about Leon Clark a little bit. I think he's got 15 goals now in the Championship, and he scored 9 in November. How do you rate him?
He's actually a lot older than I thought he was. I think he's about my age, isn't he? He's 32.
Old.
So yeah, he is old. You're right. I remember him when he was at Wolves, and I think he's been at Swindon as well. I remember seeing a documentary about Swindon when Di Canio was there, and he was having a bit of argy-bargy with him, which is easily done with Paolo Di Canio, I imagine. But he's always struck me as a bit of a hothead, a bit of a nomadic striker that's never really settled anywhere, but he seems to have found somewhere that suits him in Sheffield United. I mean, we were linked with him, weren't we? Which is just lazy paper talk, because absolutely no chance we're going to bring in a 32-year-old striker from Sheffield United, and he'll be happy there because he's one of the top scorers in the league, and he's doing the business in front of goal. But yeah, he's never someone I've particularly thought, oh, he's a good player, but you can't knock his goal record this season. And once again, I think it comes down to momentum and carrying stuff on from the season before. He scored goals in League One, and then now he's scoring goals in the Championship.
So we'll go on to Villa now. It's Thursday night, the day we're recording this at the moment, so we haven't heard anything from Steve Bruce yet. How would you line up if you had to pick? Obviously, we don't know anything about injuries, so it's hard to say what will Bruce do. So let's talk about what we'd do.
I'd pray and have my fingers crossed that John Terry was going to be back, but I don't think he's going to be. I'd be tempted to play. I don't think he will, Bruce, but I'd be tempted to play Elphick, because I thought Jedinak looked off the pace at centre back. Although playing against someone like Leon Clark, maybe that will suit Jedinak a bit more than the nimble forward line of Derby. It's difficult now to change it. Obviously, Keenan Davis is going to come in, so I'd expect him to replace Onuma. I'd like to give Whelan a rest, but that depends on whether he's going to be prepared to play someone at centre back and move Jedinak forward. But then is Jedinak fit enough to play the majority of the game? Probably not. So we're going to have to use our players over this Christmas period. Just one thing that I would do is that I'd play Jack Grealish, because I thought he was our best player by a mile against Derby, outfield wise, and I'll probably be tempted to bring Hutton back in if he's fit as well.
Yeah, I only saw the couple of highlights on YouTube, but pretty much every person who was talking about it on Twitter after the game said that Grealish was one of the only players to come out of Derby with their head held high. And for me, I'd start him as well. He's got to come in. He's got to come into the fray now. He's got to come in and make a real impression for us. We need some goals and some assists from him, and he's capable of doing that. But if we're going to be going around playing false nines, he's not going to be getting assists, is he? Because he's getting the ball and there's no one to pass to, otherwise, other than Onuma, who's right next to him, and he ends up being the furthest forward player, which doesn't suit him. He needs bodies around him, good players around him, like he had when he first broke onto the scene. And if he gets that, he'll get assists and he'll get goals, because he's too good a player to be sitting on the bench for Aston Villa in the Championship, in my opinion. He's got to be making an impact, and part of that starts with the trust of the manager and a settled run in the side. So I want to read a comment that we've had on today's podcast to you. First of all, actually, I feel like I need to defend myself over one of your comments in the podcast. I did give you a bit, didn't I? There should be a New Year's resolution for Rolinson in there, because once again we've received no YouTube comments from Daniel Rolinson this week.
Rolinson, he's got a little bit of work. People are starting to talk about him now as this hot new video editor, producer, whatever you want to call it, and he's thrown the presenting in the mix as well, hasn't he? So he's abandoned the podcast. Triple threat: producer, friendly. Presenter, editor. A great looking guy. Is he? I tell you what, Dan Rollinson's too focused on getting a puppy. Oh yeah. At the moment, he wants a family puppy, and that is all he's concentrating on. In my defence, you were recording this on a Thursday morning. The first episode that you've ever done on a morning. I just forgot. You told me you were doing it, but this was like last week. I forgot. You could have said, "Oh, can you send us some messages?" But you didn't. You're the owner of the Villa View, though. You should know everything that's going on. I bet Dr. Tony knows everything that's going on at Villa Park. This is from Scotty Edwards. He says, "We finally played Grealish at number 10, but with no striker in front of him. A very strange decision. Time to start playing our own game instead of constantly worrying about the opposition. All fans would rather us have a go
win 3, lose 2 instead of drawing 5. Obviously, the last part of that comment's a bit of a extreme example of that style.
Yeah.
But if you go out with the mindset of we want to get a draw, or we'd be happy with a draw, there's 2 outcomes: you either draw or you lose. If you go out with the attitude to win, there's 3 outcomes: you win, you draw, or you lose. Surely it is better to play your own game and go out and do your thing and try to win every game, rather than just worrying about what other people are doing and thinking, oh, this is a good point, this is a good point. Why not just go out and try and beat everybody?
We might not go the right way about it, but I think that is what we do. I don't think for 1 minute at any stage this season Steve Bruce has sent out a side and gone, I'll be happy with a point today, lads. You might get to certain points in the game, like Leeds at half-time, you're 1-0 down and he'd be happy with a point. But I don't think he ever sends a team out not to win the game. I don't think there's many managers do that. I know Mourinho is the specialist at going to certain places and getting 0-0s and stuff like that, but even then I think he's going there with the intention of winning 1-0.
Right then, prediction time. Obviously you can get involved with the Fan Score League if you want. I'm doing terrible still. I don't think I've picked up any points basically since we've been doing the previews. So I'm just going to go straight out there, fire mine at you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go with a 1-1.
1-1.
I think we'll go ahead and then they'll nick a goal in the second half. Point at home.
I think this will be a bit like the Burton Boxing Day game last year, where I've got a feeling they're going to come all guns blazing and we get outplayed, but then we come away somehow wondering how we've won the game. 2-1. That's what I think is going to happen, and that's what I hope. Well, I just hope for 3 points. We need 3 points to get December going, really, get December back on track to what we all wanted to see. So yeah, I'll go 2-1, and I'll go first goal. I will plump for Conor Horan. Due a goal.
I don't know why the word plumps just made me laugh.
It's a funny word. So that's it for today's match preview for Villa's game against Sheffield United. Whether you've enjoyed the video or not, give it a like if you're looking forward to Christmas. That way we should maximise the likes. Comment below with your feelings on the game and your thoughts on what we previewed. Do you agree with what we said, or do you think we're talking a load of baloney? If you haven't checked out our latest videos, then the podcast was released in the last 24 hours, a bit shorter than normal, but hopefully some interesting points discussed. And also earlier in the week, we released our interview with Villa's CCO, Luke Organ. That 100% is an interesting watch because everyone said it is on social media and in the comments. So if you haven't seen that yet, then go back and check that out. Max will be doing fan cams after the game on Saturday, so hopefully we'll all be talking about 3 points to the Villa, and you can go and give Max some love and wax lyrical about another excellent Villa display at Villa Park. Fingers crossed. Hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Thanks for your support you've given us so far this year. Still a few more weeks to go. Well, actually, still a week to go. So any support you can give us from now until then, that will be gratefully received as well. Stick with the channel, stick with the Villa. Merry Christmas, up the Villa.
Was that the one taker?
Yeah, once I started, I thought I'm doing this in one take. I'm trying to watch his rabbit as well. Can you not do that, please?
Massive.
Wait there. Sorry, I've got a rabbit ran behind the PlayStation, chewing wires. Esme. You know you're not allowed behind there. Don't even think about going back behind there. Esme. I've just pulled you out from there. No. Esme, just move away from there. He scored goals in League One, and then now he's scoring goals in the Championship. The bloody rabbit has gone behind the PlayStation again. Esme, out of there. I can't even get her. She's so small. Causing problems there. And you've on the floor.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.